twins, you know, we knew that there was an egg and they split it down the middle. So we just figured, you know, here's, as they kind of were sawing the two in half, that, you know, one got one part of the brain, the other one got the other part of the brain. And but you know, when you start to think about it, you know, we really are not right-brained or left-brained, right? We are whole-brained people, and I know that everybody in this room believes in whole-brained, the whole-brain concept, that we are not easily labeled. And some forces out there like to label things, and they like to label kids. And they think that we can measure kids with data, and that we can manage data. This great teaching is not about managing data. It's about loving kids. And it's about enjoying our jobs. And the cool thing about today, it's about making stuff. Who here likes to make stuff? Making stuff. What I like about today is that we actually get our hands on tools made by companies that share the mission of creativity and innovation. And there's something very similar about a lot of the programs that you're looking at today. And it's one of my all-time favorite things. It is the blank page. And if you follow my work, I've written a couple of books. One or two. One called The Dot. Has anybody read The Dot? Yeah. The Dot is about a little girl who says she cannot draw. And about a teacher who thinks differently in more ways than one. And the little girl, Vashti, has made this well, she's staring at this blank sheet of paper. And she's very frustrated. And her teacher comes along and says, she takes a look at it and says, polar bear in a snowstorm. And Vashti says, very funny, I just can't draw. And her teacher says, just make a mark. See where it takes you. Vashti's still pretty wound up. She takes the marker and she jabs the paper. She leaves behind one little dot. Her teacher takes a look at it, hands it back to her and says, sign it. When she walks into art class the next week, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was her little dot. The little dot she had drawn, all framed in swirly gold. She took one look at it and she said, I can make a better dot than that. So she opened up her watercolors and she set to work. And if you read the book, you see her bloom creatively. And she starts experimenting with different colored dots, different size dots. She even makes a dot by, remember that? What does she do? By not painting a dot, she paints all the way around and leaves the center of the canvas blank. And at the very end of the show, at the end of the book, there's an art show. And she shows all her many dots. And there's a little boy who's incredibly impressed. Comes up and says, wow, you're a really great artist. Wish I could draw. And she says, thanks, I'm sure you can. He says, no, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. So she pulls out a blank sheet of paper, and she says, show me. The boy draws his squiggly line, hands it back to Vashti, who takes a look at it, hands it back to him and says, now, sign it. This is actually the path that he'll travel. And we'll sort of aim him that way there. And we can, well, that looks pretty good right there. And now let's see our film. And we're going to start here. And we're going to loop it. So we'll play over and over again. Let's see. So voila, that's one frame. So I didn't actually have to draw any additional frames. The computer is figuring all that out. If you notice, he's starting small and he's growing bigger. We can also speed that up. And then we can share that with the world. Again, we can export this. Capital H. There you got a neck and a turtleneck. And we'll put a little squiggle for some hair. Okay. Do you think everyone can handle that? Yeah? Okay. Now we're going to press next. And if you notice, the computer has popped in what we call an onion skin. Okay? It's something for us to trace. This little lilac line is not really there. It's going to show us what frame 1 looks like. So our job is just to trace it. And you don't want to trace it perfectly, because if you trace it too perfectly, your animation won't actually move. And you'll see what I mean in a second. And it says trace it, and we're going to press next. I can also use my fingernail if I want to. Whoops. Looks like he's smoking. That's not good. You're too young to smoke. In fact, no one should be smoking, right? Okay. So now, it says trace again, then press play. So, would you like to help me? Do you want to come up and press play for me? We'll see if it animates. Just push. Check it out. Pretty good. Now it's come to life. So it's playing frame 1, 2, 3, back to 1 again. And if we want to share that with our friends, we can go up to the share button. And here are lots of how do we want to share our file. So there are lots of different ways of sharing this file. Flash movie, what if we call that Asali? You can call it whatever you want. Vinny. Do you mind us calling the character Vinny? There might be a TV show called Vinny coming out soon. So now we've actually got a file that we can share. You can upload that to Facebook and impress your friends. You can actually write your name. You can sign your name and animate it.